Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, we are going to start Apache Spark series, and specifically if I talk about Spark, we will be focusing on how we can use Spark with Python. So we are going to discuss about the library called as PySpark. We will try to understand everything, why Spark is actually required, and probably we'll also try to cover a lot of things. There's something called as mlib, Spark mlib, which will basically say that how you can apply machine learning, in Apache Spark itself with the help of this Spark API called as PySpark libraries. And apart from that, we'll also try to see in the future, once we understand the basics of the PySpark library, how we can actually pre-process our data set, how we can use the PySpark DataFrames. We'll also try to see how we can implement or how we can use PySpark in cloud platforms like Databricks, Amazon, AWS, So all these kind of clouds we'll try to cover. And remember, Apache Spark is quite handy. Let me just give you some of the reasons why Apache Spark is pretty much good. Because understand, suppose if you have a huge amount of data, okay, suppose if I say that I'm having 64 GB data, 128 GB data, we may have some kind of systems or standalone systems, where we can have 32 GB of RAM, probably 64 GB of RAM. Right now in the workstation that I'm working in, it has 64 GB RAM. So max to max, it can directly upload a data set of 32 GB, 48 GB, right? But what if we have a data set of 128 GB, that is the time, guys, we don't just depend on a local system. We'll try to pre-process that particular data or perform any kind of operation in distributed systems, right? Distributed system basically means that there will be multiple systems, where we can actually run this kind of jobs or processes or try to do any kind of activities that we really want. And definitely Apache Spark will actually help us to do that. And this has been pretty much amazing, and yes, people wanted this kind of videos a lot. So how we are going to go through this specific playlist is that we'll try to first of all start with the installation. We'll try to use PySpark because that is also Apache Spark it is a Spark API with Python. When you're actually working with Python, we basically use PySpark library, and yes, we can also use Spark with other programming languages like Java, Scala, R and all, right? And we'll try to understand from basics, how do we read a data set, how do we connect to a data source, probably how do we play with the data frames. In this Apache Spark, that is your PySpark, also they provide you data structures like data frames, which is pretty much similar to the pandas data frame, but yes, different kind of operations are supported over there, which we'll be looking one by one as we go ahead. And then we'll try to enter into mlib, the Apache Spark mlib. So basically it is called a Spark mlib, which will actually help us to perform machine learning, where we'll be able to perform some machine learning algorithm task, where we'll be able to do regression, classification, clustering. And finally, we'll try to see how we can actually do the same operation in cloud, where I'll try to show you some examples where we will be having a huge data set. We will try to do the operation in the clusters of system, in a distributed system, and we'll try to see how we can use Spark in that, right? So all those things will basically get covered. Now, some of the advantages of Apache Spark and why it is very much famous, because it runs workloads 100 multiplied by 100 times faster. That basically means, and if you know about big data, guys, when we talk about big data, we're basically talking about huge data set, right? And there, if you have heard of this terminology called as map reduce, right? Trust me, in Apache Spark is much more faster, 100 times faster than map reduce also. Okay, and it is some of the more advantages that it is ease of use. You can write application quickly in Java, Scala, Python or R. As I said, we'll be focusing on Python, where we'll be using a library called as PySpark. Then you can also combine SQL streaming and complex analytics. When I talk about complex analytics, I'm basically talking about this mlib machine learning libraries that will work definitely well with the Apache Spark. And Apache Sparks can run on Hadoop, Apache Mesos, Kubernetes, standalone, in the clouds, different types of clouds, guys. When I talk about AWS, Databricks, all these things, we can definitely work, okay? And it actually runs in a cluster mode. Cluster mode basically means in a distributed mode, right? So these are some of the examples. Now, if I go with respect to which version of PySpark Spark will be using, probably Spark 3.1.1 will be using. We'll try to work and if you just go and search for here you can see SQL and DataFrames and all. Here you can see Spark streaming, machine MLIC, that is called as machine learning and all, right? And apart from that, if I go and see the overview, here you can see that Apache Spark is a fast and general purpose cluster computing system. It provides high level APIs in Scala, Java and Python that makes parallel job easy to write and optimized engine that supports general competition graph. So it is basically to work with huge amount of data in short, you know, and that is pretty much handy. We'll try to work. Now if I go and search for this Spark in Python, you know, this page will get opened, and this things we'll try to discuss how to install it, and in this video we'll try to install the PySpark library. If I talk about PySpark library, you'll be able to see that PySpark library is pretty much amazing. This library is if you really want to work Spark, if you want to work this Spark functionality with Python, you basically use this specific library. And let's proceed and let's try to see that how we can quickly install the specific libraries and check out like what all things we can actually do. Okay, so all these things we'll try to see. So let's begin. Please make sure that you create a new environment when you're working with PySpark. So I have created a new environment called as my-env. Here, first of all, I'll try to install the PySpark library. So I'll just write pip install PySpark. Okay, and let's see. In this, we'll focus on installation. We'll focus on reading some data sets and try to see that what all things we can actually do. Okay, and after doing this, what we can actually do is that you can see that our PySpark has been installed. In order to check whether the installation is perfect or not, I'll just write import PySpark. So this looks perfectly fine. It is working. You know, we are able to see that the PySpark is basically installed properly. Now you may be facing some kind of problems, guys, with respect to PySpark. So that is the reason why I'm telling you create a new environment. If you're facing some kind of issue, just let me know what is the error that you're getting, probably writing in the comment section. Okay, now let's do one thing. I'll just open Excel sheet. Okay, and probably I'll just try to create some data sets. I'll say name, probably I'll just say name and age, right? And suppose my name over here that I'm going to write is Krish, and I'll say 31. I'm going to say Sudhanshu, right? Sudhanshu. I will just say okay, 30, and probably I'll just write some more names like Sunny. Probably I'll also give the data as 29. So this 3 data, we'll just try to see how we can read this specific file. Okay, so I'm just going to save it. Let's see. I'll save it in the same location where my Jupyter notebook is, guys. I've created a folder, I guess. You can save it in any location where your notebook file is open, guys. So it is not necessary. I'm just making sure that you don't see any of my files. Okay, and I'm just saving it. Okay, I'm saving it as test1. Here you can see I'm saving it as test1.csv. So I'll save it. Let's keep this particular file saved. Okay, now if I probably want to you know, read with the pandas, so what we write pd.read_csv, right? And I basically use this particular data sets called as test1.csv, right? So when I'm executing this, here you will be able to see the specific information. Now when I really want to work with PySpark, always first of all remember we need to start a Spark session. And in order to start a Spark session, first of all let me create some more fields. Just see this, just follow these particular steps with respect to creating a Spark session. So I'll write from PySpark.sql import Spark session. Okay, and then I'll execute this. You can see that it is executing fine. Then I'll write, sorry, I don't know what has opened. So I'll create a variable called as Spark, and probably I'll use the Spark session dot builder. and I'll say app name, and here I'll just give my session name. Okay, so it will be like practice. Suppose I'm practicing these things, and then I can say get or create. So when I actually execute this, you'll be able to see a Spark session will get created. And if you're executing for the first time, it will probably take some amount of time. Other than that, if you have executed multiple times, then you'll be able to work it. Now here you can definitely see that in this, when you're executing in a local, there will always be only one cluster. But when you are actually working in a cloud, you can create multiple clusters and instances. Okay, so the Spark version that you will be using is v3.1.1. Here you can see that this is basically present in the master. When probably you will be working in multiple instances, there you'll be seeing masters and cluster 1, cluster 2, all those kind of information. Okay, so this is with respect to Spark. Now let's I'll just write df of PySpark, where I will try to read a data set with respect to Spark. Okay, now in order to read a data set, what I can write like this: Spark dot read dot. There is a lot of options like CSV, format, JDBC, ParQ, schema, table, text. A lot of options is there. So here we are going to take CSV, and here I'm just going to write tips1 dot CSV, right? And if I just try to execute it, here I'm getting some error saying that this particular file does not exist. Let me see. I think this file is present. Just let me see, guys. Why this is not getting executed? Tips1 df file open. Here I can see test1.csv. Okay, sorry, I did not write the CSV file, I guess. Test1.csv. Okay, this has now worked. Now if I go and see dy.PySpark, it is showing this two strings, right? This two columns, C0 and C1. Now here you can see that, guys, I've created this particular CSV file, right? And it is just taking this AB as a default column probably. So it is saying C0 and C1. So what we can actually do is that, and probably if you really want to see your entire data set, you can basically see like this. df underscore PySpark dot show. Here you will be able to see name and age. Krish, this information is there. I really want to make my column name or age as my main column, right? But when I'm directly reading this CSV file, probably we are getting underscore C0 underscore C1. So in order to solve this, what I will do is that we have a different technique. So I'll write Spark dot read dot option. There is something called as option, and inside this option, what you can basically give is that there'll be an option with respect to header, I guess. See, there'll be something like key value that you will be providing in option. So what you can do, you can just write header comma true. So whatever value, the first column, first row value will be there, that will be considered as your header. And if I write CSV with respect to test1, now I'm just going to read this test1 dataset, test1.csv. Now once I execute this, here you'll be able to see that I'm able to get now name string, age string. Okay, but let's see our complete data set. So here if I execute this now, I'll be able to see the entire data set with this particular columns. Okay, so let me just quickly save this in my df underscore PySpark. Okay, and now let's go and see the type of df underscore PySpark. Okay, now when I execute this, here you'll be able to see, guys, when I was reading this df, right, if I go and see the type of this with the help of pandas, here you'll be able to see that this is pandas.core.frame.dataframe. But here you'll be seeing that when you are reading this particular data set, it is of type PySpark.SQL.dataframe.dataframe. Yes, so that is pandas dataframe, this is SQL.dataframe.dataframe. Yes, most of the APIs are almost same, the functionalities are same. There are a lot of things that we will be learning as we go ahead. But if I quickly want to see my, probably I don't know whether head will work. Let's see. Yes, head is also working. So if I use dot head, probably you'll be able to see the rows information are basically shown over here. Now if I really want to see the more information regarding my columns, I will be able to use something called as print schema. Okay, now in this print schema is just like df.info, which will actually tell about your columns, like name is string and age is string. Okay, so all these are some basic operations that you have actually done after installation. Again, the main thing why I'm focusing on this is that just try to install this PySpark and keep it ready. For my next session, I will be trying to show you how we can change the data type, how we can work with data frames, how we can actually do data pre-processing, how we can handle null values, missing values, how we can delete the columns, how we can do various things. All those things will basically be discussing over there, how to drop columns and all. So I hope you like this particular video. So this is just my PySpark introduction. Okay, and we will continue the next session. Probably I'll also give you this information in my GitHub, where we will probably, okay, PySpark is already there. Okay, basic introduction, fine. So we will try to do this and we'll try to cover this entire thing as we go ahead in the next session. Remember guys, again, our main aim is basically to make you understand how probably we'll be working in clouds, and before that we really need to know all the basic stuffs that we need to understand regarding PySpark library. But yes, it is an amazing library. It will actually help us to implement all the Spark APIs functionalities that basically supports with Python. So everything, all the things that are related to machine learning, you can also do with the help of PySpark. So I hope you like this particular video. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you and all. Bye bye.